Here today with yet another PPRBD screw homeowner. So down here you can see there's been a recent repair. So that's 52 tiles that blew off. Got some on pretty much every angle, every side. Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, they lost a fourth of a section down there. Most other places they just lost one or two here and there. And so I'm going to stay away from the edge just to be safe, considering probably here it's windy as hell. So let's see, we got a cross batten system, Boral brand, Slate, Tetton's probably the color, or Rocky Mountain, but I think it's Tetton. That was hard. So we've got gold nails, coil. So that's supposed to penetrate 3/4 of an inch. Now, I'm no expert there, but if you're calling that 3/4 of an inch, then I'm thinking that the roofer's calling his about a 12-incher. So let's see what we got here. So in order to penetrate 3/4 of an inch, it'd have to be down there. Might help if I don't do that, right? So yeah, that's only penetrating about half of an inch. You know, to my female homeowners, imagine how you know, I'm not gonna say it. I like my job too much, but only about a ½ inch penetrating there. So that's not fastened to the wood, so that's a complete failure. And 2 nails there, 1 nail in each of those. So probably only 2 nails because it's right against the edge. And they fastened to the center. Now, as you can see, we've got a nice open exposure there. So if we were to go by TRI rules, which is what we're required to, that's going to be spec and code here, they would have had to have their nails in the overlock position instead of in the center, like you see there and there. So on top of that being wrong, 1 nail isn't going to cut it in this wind zone plus an open exposure. And that's as simple as, I bet money you could have just asked the roofer. Now 1 screw, 2 screw. Now that's more like it. So they did it right at the top here. Yeah, 1 in the overlock, 1 in the underlock. That's the way this whole roof should be done. I wonder if they realized it halfway through, if this is a repair spot. Oh, you know what? They repaired this whole right side. Spots of repair on the left, so that might have actually been repair done right. The roof is less than 5 years old. It actually falls under the newest iteration of PPRBC. So there's absolutely no excuse. Wind zone requirements were in place. The city should have known better. PPRBD doesn't care how many homeowners end up having to sell their homes because they can't afford the constant repairs. They don't care how many times these roofs that they pass fail within 5 years from a basic windstorm. You know, the wind that took this off wasn't any worse than what you're hearing today. Look at the trees. That look like bad wind to you. Come on. Maybe, what, 30 mile per hour, 40 mile per hour. Big whoop. 60 mile per hour around here, big whoop. That's PPRBD for you, though. You can't tell me that that tile hasn't looked like that since it was put on. You know, you can see this. Most of that section's been replaced. Looks like whoever replaced it. So I would bet that the original was Tetton. Recognize the color design after so many years. So let's see. So what? done properly. That one's real nice and tight. So we got 2 that aren't nailed at all, and at least 2 that if they were fastened by short nails. So 40% failure. Hey though, if you think about that, 60% accuracy, heck, they're way better than the building department here. If the building department got it right 60% of the time, I probably wouldn't even be out here complaining. So a lot of people ask, how is PPRBD supposed to know that they, did the roof wrong? So you see how those top 3 rows all sit flat? You see how this one doesn't? See the big gaps there? That's because of a sudden angle change. That's because they did the eave wrong. So that should have been their first indicator. And then the fact that that's sitting up like that tells me that those probably weren't fastened right. So I would have checked there. All they would have had to have done is grab a 5-in-1, a hammer, a pry bar. I'm not saying all 3, I'm saying any one of the above. And just lift those tiles or ask the contractor to lift it. Mid-roof inspection would have stopped it if they knew what they were doing. Kick test would have stopped it if they knew what they were doing. Could have looked around in the gutters, found some loose nails. That would have told you their size. That would have told you that they did it wrong. You could have just simply asked them, hey, how many nails or screws did you put in per tile? And where did you put them? And most roofers will go deer in headlights, tell you the truth, because they don't know. And there you go. Look at that head wall flashing, by the way. That's driving me nuts.